First Alert 4 is following the money when it comes to how opioid settlement dollars are invested across the St. Louis metro. We told you recently St. Louis County hasn't spent any of its $16 million it's received. Now First Alert 4 Investigates has uncovered another local government raising questions about how it's using its settlement dollars and has residents sounding the alarm.
DeAndre Buckner was a star running back at Kirkwood High School, helping lead the Pioneers to the playoffs in both 2007 and 08, with his sights set on playing the game in college.
I felt like the star's mom. Yeah, he was recognized everywhere we went, and he was a joy.
His mother, Angela, says when he was redshirted as a freshman, her son spiraled, turning to heroin to fill the void.
I didn't know how to get him to stop. I didn't know how to help him.
He dropped out of college, and at 25 years old, DeAndre died of an overdose in 2015.
That's how I remember him, is with a smile on his face.
Angela says Kirkwood lacked resources to support those fighting addiction, despite its affluent reputation.
It doesn't have a face or a color or income bracket. It's everywhere.
Key details on where opioid settlement funds are spent do not always make it on reports to the state. It took a separate request from First Alert 4 to find out an alternative response vehicle was actually this Ford F350 truck with department decals and a brand new snowplow used by the fire department for inclement weather.
No, it doesn't make any sense. I think it should be put back and use what it was intended for.
Kirkwood Fire Chief Jim Silvernail tells us that snowplow truck is used for emergency responses.
That alternative would be to get into hard places, or like, for example, the last snowstorm, we would use that vehicle to access patients, and all patients really, but not just opioid, but also opioid patients.
But he could not recall a time it's been used in response for an overdose.
I don't have an exact specific example for you, unfortunately.
First Alert 4 Investigates asked the mayor, deputy mayor, a long-serving council member, and the city attorney to speak on camera to explain this opioid settlement spending. Only the mayor and council members called us back, declining interviews, but over the phone say they don't remember allocating the roughly $70,000 last year.
This is money that people died for.
Local drug policy expert Chad Sabora says most of Kirkwood's opioid settlement spending falls under general public safety and is not specific to opioid issues.
Lots of people have been hurt and their lives have been destroyed, and we owe them better.
It's unclear if Kirkwood consulted with any experts or people with lived experience. Both Sabora and Buckner say there is still time to better invest what money remains.
They could have invested in a city education program for overdose response for bystanders. They could have set up some naloxone distribution points.
People are dying from this every day, so it's never too late, but it should be done.
Now, we did try to find out who's responsible for making sure opioid settlement spending is used appropriately. The Attorney General office tells us that while it did help get the settlements across the finish line, it does not play a role in enforcement and referred us to the State Department of Mental Health. The spokesperson there says the department does not enforce the terms of the settlement agreement. So right now it's unclear what checks and balances exist for millions of dollars yet to come for local cities and counties. By the way, Kirkwood is projected to receive an additional $327,000 over the next 13 years.
Today is our